Okay, this is a review for the Quiz 8 Translate and Reflect Essential. The first question says, draw the following quadrilateral after a translation 2 units to the right and 1 unit down. So I'm going to take each one of these corners on the shape and I'm going to move each corner 2 to the right and 1 down. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, and 1 down. 1, 2, 1 down. And then I'm just going to reconnect the dots. Try and draw a straight line. And there's my new figure. So I translated the shape. I moved it somewhere else. The shape stayed the same size and the same shape. It's just in a different location. Okay, the next question that you'll see on your quiz says, in the coordinate plane, the points A, -4, -2, is translated to the point 1, 3. Under the same translation, the point B, -8, -5, and C, 0, 2, are translated to B prime and C prime respectively. What are the coordinates of B prime and C prime? So we're going to do this 2 different ways. The first way that I want to do is just to put it on the graph. So I'm going to graph -4, -2. So I'm going to go left 4 and down 2, and that is the point A. Now A prime, if you look up here, it's at the point 1, 3. So A prime has moved up there. So I'm just going to look now at how it's moved. So it's moved, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places up. So it moved 5 right and 5 up. So now I'm going to take the other points and do the exact same thing to them. So B is at -8, -5. So there is B. And now I'm just going to count 5 right and 5 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my new B prime is right here. So that's -3, 0. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with C. C starts at 0, 2. So that's right here. Kind of gets a little bit messy. But I'm going to move it 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 up. Okay, so I know that my C prime is way up here now. So it's now at 5, 7. So that's one way that you can do it. You can put it on the graph and then just see how it's moved and apply that same movement to the other points. The other thing that we can do is do it algebraically without the graph. So if I look at point A, it starts at -4, -2, and it moves to A prime at 1, 3. So the x's, if I look from -4 to 1, the x's are adding 5. So that means that all my x's are going to add 5. Then if I look at the y's, it's going from -2 to 3. So to go from -2 to 3, you're also adding 5. So all my y's are adding 5. So if you go to these coordinates up here that they gave you for B and C, if you just add 5 to the x and add 5 to the y, then you're going to get your new coordinates. So that would be -3, 0 for B prime, and C prime would be 5, 7. And that's what we got using the graph as well. So you can choose either way to do the problem. Okay, and the next question you'll have is about reflection. So this one says to reflect it across the y-axis. So if you remember, the y-axis is this vertical axis. So I'm just going to fold it across. So I'm going to take this point here and I'm just going to count the same amount. It's 1 away from the line of reflection, so on the other side it'll be 1 away. This point up here, the upper left point, is 7 away, so on the other side it'll be 7 away. This point over here is 2 away, so I'm going to count 2 on the other side. And then this point is 8 away, so I'm going to come straight across and go 8 spaces from the line of reflection. So I will connect those dots. And there's your new shape. It should stay the same shape, same size, just reflected. Okay, and then the last question that you'll see on this type of quiz is asking you to reflect some points. So it says, in the coordinate plane, the points -7, 1, and -4, -10, and 3, 6 are reflected over the x-axis. So there's 2 different ways that we can do this. We can draw it on the graph, or we can do it algebraically. So let's go ahead and do both ways. So I'm going to graph -7, 1, right there, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -10, I believe is all the way down here. And z is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they're reflected over the x-axis. So remember, the x-axis is this horizontal one. So everything's going to fold over that line. So x prime will come down here. Z prime, let's see, it was 6 above, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 below. And then y prime will be 10 above. So then I can write down the new coordinates there for that. So this would be -7, -1. Y would be at -4, +10. And z is going to be at 3, -6. So that's using the graph. The other way you can do that is if you reflect something over the x-axis, or imagine you have a point here and it's reflecting over, the x value is going to stay the same. It's just the y that's changing to the opposite. So I can just look at these points that were given to me, and I can keep all the x's the same. So -7, -4, and +3, and I can just change the y's to the opposite. So -1, +10, and -6, which are the same answers as what we got when we did it with the graph.